Hello viewers, today we are going to have a discussion on efficient supply chain versus responsive supply chain, which is also known as effective supply chain. But before I start, I would like to tell you to please check description of my videos where I paste important links and which can be helpful for those who are preparing for CSCP exam. So let's start. What is efficiency and effectiveness in general? So we are going to have some points over both the terms and then we will proceed forward. Efficiency is defined as the ability to accomplish something with the least amount of wasted time, money and effort. Responsiveness or effectiveness is defined as the degree to which something is successful in producing a desired result or success. Efficiency is about performing a task in a best possible manner. Effectiveness is about accomplishing a task or producing a desired result. For example, if a person wants to travel 100 kilometers, there can be many different ways to reach there. He can go there by metro, which is the cheapest mode. He can use a taxi, which is little expensive mode, or he can use a helicopter, which is the most expensive mode. An efficient way to reach the destination of 100 kilometer is to use a metro, whereas effectiveness is using helicopter to reach there. Okay, let's move on. Let's have a few more definitions of efficiency versus responsiveness or effectiveness. Efficiency focuses on maximum result with least time and effort. Effectiveness focuses on achieving the objective only. Efficiency is primarily concerned on the use of time, energy and resources, not necessarily the results. Effectiveness is primarily concerned about results, not use of resources. Efficiency is process and time oriented. Effectiveness or responsiveness is not process and time oriented. Efficiency is looking at how the activity is done. Effectiveness looks at whether something is done or not. Efficiency has higher economic sense. Effectiveness has no or less economic sense. Efficiency looks at the process, means of doing a task. Effectiveness is the end result. Efficiency is yield oriented. Effectiveness is result oriented. Efficiency looks at the input to output ratio. Effectiveness does not look at input to output ratio. So this was just an overview of the two terms. Now we are going to move forward and discuss what is supply chain efficiency and what is supply chain responsiveness or effectiveness. Efficiency can be defined as an internal standard of performance. Supply chain efficiency is related to whether a company's processes are harnessing resources in the best way possible, whether those resources are financial, human, technological, or physical. What is supply chain responsiveness or effectiveness? Effectiveness is an external standard of how well an organization is meeting the demands of the various groups and organizations that are concerned with its activities. These groups might include customers, partners, suppliers, and vendors. So to measure your supply chain effectiveness, take a look at not just what is going on within the walls of your own company, but how this is ultimately impacting customers and the supply chain as a whole. Now we are going to discuss attributes of efficiency and responsiveness and see what is the difference between the two and compare them in a tabular manner. The efficient supply chain is used for products that have stable customer demand and low forecast error. For example, commodity products like bread, butter, salt, wheat, etc. On the other hand, the responsive supply chain is driven by customer orders and has low demand predictability. In other words, they have high forecast errors. Responsiveness refers to the speed with which a supply chain provides products and services to the customers. In other words, responsiveness measures the supply chain velocity in delivering product to a customer. You can also say that they are extremely agile. Agility is the ability of the supply chain to quickly respond to changes in the marketplace in order to assist a company in gaining or keeping their competitive edge. A responsive supply chain is defined by its reaction speed. The goal for this kind of supply chain is to bring a new product to a new market in a new way as quickly as possible. Therefore, it requires a high access capacity to allow it to react, start new routes, and scale up and down quickly in response to changes in product and customer demand rates. A responsive supply chain is high in cost and it is inefficient. Commodity products can also be called as functional products, and they have a long product life cycle, limited market changes, and infrequent product introductions. Whereas responsive supply chain deals well with innovative products, these products have unstable and unpredictable demand. They are usually new products and they have short life cycle. Functional products are mostly in their mature stage, whereas innovative products are generally in their introductory or growth stage. If they will become popular, then they will become a functional product and turn into a mature product. For instance, air conditioner or heaters was once an innovative product, but with the passage of time, it turned into a functional product. Companies use make-to-stock strategy for production of functional products since demand can be easily predicted. Whereas innovative products are higher margin products, therefore company uses make-to-order or assemble-to-order production strategy against customer orders. Let's take an example of a bread manufacturer. The bread manufacturer knows that he needs to produce around 10 million loaves of bread daily to cater to the daily consumer demand. His product is mature, his demand is predictable. Therefore, where should he focus on? He should focus on increasing efficiency, since efficient supply chain focuses on high volume with low variety in order to drive down the operational costs and improve customer service. Bread has high volume and low variety. So our bread manufacturer's example is the most suitable one to define efficient supply chain model. On the other hand, innovative products are desired by their customers but have low volume, high variety, and higher operational costs. Let's take an example of special ice cream flavors which make children smarter. As you know that special ice cream is an innovative product. What will happen when you will introduce this product in the market? Nevertheless, to say, you will be uncertain about the demand and the volume will be volatile. Efficient supply chains focus on minimizing their cost structures. Companies using this method maintain a high equipment utilization and efficiency rate. They maintain minimal inventory levels that are sufficient to achieve desired customer service levels and select suppliers based on their ability to quickly deliver low cost, reliable and quality products. Products are forecasted based on historical demand. Whereas a responsible supply chain manufacturing strategy focuses on delivery, speed, agility and high profits. The company maintains flexibility with their operating facility and equipment, and they keep excess capacity available to meet ever-changing customer demands. They also maintain higher raw material and component inventory levels, keep buffer safety stocks inventory levels, and select their supplier based on the ability to quickly deliver inventory. In the responsive supply chain strategy, products are forecasted based on qualitative techniques, and the forecast error can be quite high. The transportation strategy focuses on speedy delivery to meet customer requested lead times. Supply chain managers need to determine which type of supply chain is most appropriate for a particular product. It may require some data analysis to do this accurately. This table shows how supply chain types can be fitted to products based on volume and demand uncertainty. You can easily download this table from the link available in the description of this video, and there are several other tables which you will see on my presentation, on my video, which you can easily download free of cost from the link given in the description. Anyway, let's move on and discuss what this table is all about. If you look at this table, you'll notice that this table is suggesting that if you have an efficient supply chain, whether your volume is high or whether your volume is low, you should focus on make to stock products and store it in your warehouse or retail locations. On the other hand, if you are focusing on responsive supply chain and your volume is high, you should focus on assemble to order strategy. Whereas if your demand uncertainty is high, then you should focus on make to order strategy. Because you do not have enough time to receive the order, you don't know when your customer is going to respond or when your customer is going to walk into your store and ask for a product. Therefore, if your demand uncertainty is high, you are going to ensure that your product is available in stock so that you do not lose your customer. So you will focus on make to order product. Dear viewers, please consider that intelligent organizations tailor their supply chains to the nature of the product markets for the optimum manufacturing scenario and best distribution capabilities. Supply chain management needs to research and identify how to optimize the supply chain based on the types of products or product groups that are manufactured within the chain. What exactly do the customers value in terms of each purchase they make? Is it based on low price, convenience, or customizable features? The answer to such questions should have been answered during the market research. The success of the supply chain of a famous brand Gap Inc. is a testimony that tailoring supply chains can be the right solution. Gap, which owns 3 major brands, Old Navy, The Gap, and Banana Republic, has 3 separate but overlapping supply chain in 3 different continents in order to fit each of the types of products it produces. The Old Navy brand targets cost-conscious consumers, and therefore its manufacturing and sourcing are located in China, where labor and material costs are low. The Gap, which caters to more trendy buyers with midpoint prices, has its supply chain in Central America, where speed and flexibility are most important. Banana Republic draws customers who want better quality and are willing to pay for it, so its supply chain is located in fashionable Italy, where there is plethora of finely made fabrics and fashions. Now, because Gap has 3 supply chains, Gap does have overheads, lower scale economies for purchasing and production, and higher transportation costs than if it had just one supply chain. Since these brands require different strategies, it also uses different supply networks. These networks can provide backup for each other if any if they experience disruption in its supply chain. Gap is not the only company which is tailoring its supply chain to meet the market requirements. You'll find several other companies using multiple supply chains to suit their product. Viewers, the idea of my lecture is to ensure that the concepts are engraved in your mind and they are on your fingertips whenever you are working with these strategies. Therefore, I am going to show you some more tables, diagrams, or pictures to ensure that these 10 to 15 minutes which you have spent in watching my video prove to be beneficial for you. So let's discuss some key attributes and differences again between the 2 forms of supply chains in a different manner. You can see this chart on your screen. In the middle, you will find attributes. On the left side, you will find efficient supply chain for functional or stable products. On the right side, you will find attributes of a responsive supply chain for innovative or reactive products. So let's begin with the first attribute, that is volume. The volume of a functional product is very high, whereas the volume of an innovative product is quite low. Variety of a functional product which follows an efficient supply chain is always low, like we took an example of a bread, whereas variety of an innovative product which follows responsive supply chain strategy is always high. Lead time of a functional product is short, whereas lead time of a innovative product is longer, because here the demand is unpredictable and sometimes you are following assemble to order strategy or make to order strategy. Lead time of a functional product which follows efficient supply chain strategy is always shorter, whereas lead time of an innovative product which follows a responsive supply chain strategy is longer. Forecast accuracy of functional product is higher as that of a bread. You already know that your daily consumption of bread is 10 million loaves of bread, so it's very easy to predict the demand. So forecast accuracy of functional product is higher, whereas forecast accuracy of innovative product is lower, as we shared an example of a particular type of an ice cream which makes children smarter. So you don't know how market is going to react, how it's going to whether it's going to be a hit product or whether it's going to be a flop product. So your forecast accuracy is lower in innovative product. Product life cycle of functional products like that of a bread, it's longer. You still eat bread, it's still in its maturity stage, whereas product life cycle of an innovative product is shorter. It's for short period. Demand uncertainty of a functional product which follows efficient supply chain strategy is always lower. You can keep an example of a bread in your mind while discussing all these attributes. Whereas demand uncertainty of an innovative product, like we took an example of an ice cream, a specific ice cream which makes children smarter, the demand uncertainty is definitely higher. You don't know whether it's going to be a flop product or it's going to be a hit product, whether people would like it or not. I have made another table of keywords so that my viewers can easily remember or memorize the difference between efficient versus responsive supply chain. Therefore, you can see it on the screen, and let's have a quick review on all the aspects of efficient and responsive supply chain. Primary goal of efficient supply chain is the lowest cost, whereas primary goal of the responsive supply chain is quick response. They do not look at the cost. They just see whether they are responding to the market demand fast or not. Product design strategy of efficient supply chain is minimum product cost, whereas product design strategy of a responsive supply chain or an innovative product is modularity to allow postponement. Pricing strategy of efficient supply chain is lower margins, whereas innovative product or responsive supply chain, they focus on higher margins. Manufacturing strategy is high utilization of their equipment or labor or whatever resources they have, whereas manufacturing strategy of a responsive supply chain or innovative product is capacity flexibility. They can easily ramp up their production, they can easily ramp down their production. Inventory strategy of efficient supply chain is minimum inventory, because they already know what is the demand, so that they can maintain minimum inventory. Whereas on the other hand, responsive supply chain of an innovative product has to maintain a buffer of inventory because the demand is unpredictable there. Lead time strategy of efficient supply chain for functional product is reduced, but not at the expense of greater cost. Like if you are delivering a bread, and if your bread is delayed, then the supplier or the manufacturer is not going to send the bread by using an air freight. Okay, he will still use a truck or a road or a rail mode of transportation. Whereas responsive lead time strategy for a responsive supply chain is aggressively reduced. Even if costs are significant, they try to reduce their lead time, even if there is a high cost, because their product is new, their product is innovative. They do not want to lose the customer. They want to make this product big. So if the customer is there, they might use air freight to send the product over. Supplier selection strategy of efficient supply chain is cost and low quality, whereas supplier selection strategy of responsive supply chain is speed, flexibility, quality, because they need to ramp up their production anytime. They need to ramp down their production anytime. So they need a supplier who can deliver on time, who is flexible, who has better quality, etc., etc. Transportation strategy of an efficient supply chain is greater reliance on low cost mode. Like I told you, they will use truck mode or the railroads, or they can use ship mode. But Transportation strategy of a responsive supply chain for an innovative product is greater reliance on the responsive, faster mode. They might prefer air, they might prefer air mode, they might prefer air freight. Okay, whatever the transportation mode is faster in particular country. Both the slides which we have discussed right now are available for download on the given link in my description, free of cost. I would highly recommend it to those who are preparing for CSCP exam to take the printout of these two slides and put it on your table, in front of your table, so that you can easily remember those concepts, and the concepts are there on your fingertips. In the end, I would like to conclude my discussion by saying that one cannot generally maximize both efficiency and responsiveness simultaneously. One also cannot ignore these factors entirely. An organization that competes on low cost will maximize efficiency but will still need some amount of responsiveness to mitigate demand risk. An organization that is adaptable to large fluctuations in demand or to disruptions in the supply chain will still need some efficiency, or it will go out of business. The best way is to pick the best strategy that will create value to your key customers. Focus on what customers want to have, not what you want to do. Efficiency is essential for a company's operations in order to avoid high operating costs and to minimize waste. However, a supply chain must also be responsive in order to quickly adapt to customers' demands at the present time. In order to make or create this mix of both efficient and responsive supply chain, companies are turning to technology. Technology can help integrate and consolidate data, and it can also track customers' demands. It can also identify potential risks that may affect a supply chain, which in turn helps management assess the risks and respond accordingly. Viewers, if you find value in this video, please consider subscribing to my channel and pressing the bell icon. Thank you.